fatality. I just ate a Hershey's Nugget. It's like a little nugget bar. I'm not a fan. I'm not. Not popping. Not popping for me, that candy bar. That candy bar is not popping. What up, though? And welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' Live-ish, your ultimate movie, TV, and streaming guide. There's too much content in the world, and you can't be wasting your time. So let me waste my time for you by watching all that looks vaguely interesting in everything cinema and let you know what's poppin' and what ain't. New episodes drop on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch every Monday at 7 p.m., and audio releases on Spotify every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. with clips following on socials every weekday. So be sure to like and subscribe to Popcorn Poppin' Productions on all those sites so you're the first ones to watch the episodes and stay up to date on what's poppin' on the big screen. Tonight, we'll discuss the Prada Devils box office contender, Mortal Kombat 2, along with other video game adaptations, honorable mentions, and where to find them. But first, let's start off with our weekly disclaimers, because we got to disclaim the weeklies, especially for the people that really don't enjoy the show. What you're about to listen to are the opinions of Popcorn Poppin' Productions and that of myself, the Popcorn Poppy. Art is subjective, and I'm merely giving you my opinion. If you agree or disagree, I always recommend you to watch the film for yourself and share your thoughts in the comments. In the case of tonight's film, I'm going to remind you, the audience, several times that I am not familiar with the video games like most are. Therefore, my views on the Mortal Kombat universe are merely from a cinematic standpoint and not in comparison of the original video game franchise. Now, let's get to our spotlight film, Mortal Kombat. Dose. Mortal Kombat in general. Once every generation, there is a fighting tournament of duels vying to rule our realm, Earth realm. Outworld has won 9 tournaments in a row, and if they win a 10th, we have new daddies to answer to. The 1995 version focused on 4 particular heroes, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage, being recruited and led by the god of thunder himself, Raiden. Later, they are joined by Katana to fight off Goro, Kano, Reptile, and of course, Shang Tsung. This was indeed my favorite cinematic Mortal Kombat that was almost tarnished by its sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. A dreadful, dreadful mess that's so bad, it's good. However, it's not good enough for me to take time to talk about, so let's move on. Mortal Kombat Legacy is one that not many people know about, but was an even more dark and gritty mini-series as a result of the successful fan-made short film, Mortal Kombat Rebirth. It was dark and it was gritty. Yikes, was it dark and gritty and gross. The show even briefly brought back original film's star Shang Tsung, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. I'm sure I butchered it. But the point is, the show was one of the best and most violent takes on the Mortal Kombat universe outside the games, and it is certainly a recommendation for you to check out on HBO Max. On the animated side, there was a short animated film, Mortal Kombat The Journey Begins, released in 1995, leading up to the live-action film. There was even an animated TV series, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, and a more updated string of Mortal Kombat Legends films made in the 2020s. Scorpion's Revenge, Battle of the Realms, Snowblind, and Cage Match. All are really, really good, by the way. Specifically, Scorpio's Revenge and Battle of the Realms. Then we had the first of the new and improved live-action Mortal Kombat of the 2020s, made just a few years ago from Simon McQuaid, who did the recent one as well, that was received quite well, even though there were no actual Mortal Kombat official competitions, just introduction and preparation. If you'd like to rewatch this, head over to HBO Max, then check out a more in-depth review in the bio and on the Popcorn Poppin' Productions YouTube page. But let's stick with the present. Mortal Kombat 2. Poppin' or not? We are live with Bucky in the Popcorn Bucket. Bucky, what do we think of Mortal Kombat 2? Not Annihilation. Fatality, Poppin'. Thank you so much, Bucky. I don't know what that means. Oh, wait, of course I do. It's my show. Starting off with the weakest rating points for me was story and script. MK2 didn't quite grasp me with the new and improved storytelling methods besides a confusing ass first act. I was a bit jarred for how things started off in the first 20 minutes. But for this time around, we're along for the ride from the perspective of Katana and Johnny Cage. Not that one. Yes, those ones. Katana, daughter of a king of a realm that was defeated by Outworld's Shao Kahn when she was a little girl. This was Outworld's 10th winning round of that Mortal Kombat, leading them to conquer and rule Katana's realm of Edenian. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your homeland, Katana. And Shao Kahn's first action in ruling this new realm is forcibly adopting Katana as his own daughter. We've seen this kind of plot before. However, it was nice to see this new perspective, not from that fucking guy. That guy's scary. They did too good of a job on him. Talking about Katana. It was good to see a new perspective fleshed out for someone we haven't met in this reboot yet. Then we're introduced to Johnny Cage, of course. Well, a version of him. It was really fun to see the campy scene of Uncaged Fury, but what follows is a washed-up has-been actor who is consistently down in the dumps, believing he's not worth being chosen by the gods to save the world, or even living anymore, it seems, because he's super depressing. This was a side of Johnny we hadn't seen before, and I personally enjoyed it, but wondered how video game enthusiasts felt, because this is a very much less douchey version of Johnny than what we're used to. Both of these characters lead us on an interesting journey through the eyes of both characters and cross-cutting between the two in their ups and downs, specifically toward the end, where, again, their respective stories weren't exactly unique compared to other films' character arcs, but they were enjoyable enough for me to be invested in their lives. However, my biggest disappointment was the actual event of Mortal Kombat. I expected spectacle, fanfare, presentation, and at least a motherfucking announcer. Instead, we get told it's happening very soon. And before you know it, it starts without anyone announcing, "It has begun." Missed opportunity, y'all. Missed opportunity. Did that happen? Did I miss that? Maybe it happened. If it did, then I'm glad that they did it. But if they didn't, what the fuck? So, my biggest gripe was not building up like some people are good at to the actual Mortal Kombat competition. I know what you're going to say. Poppy, they give us a whole movie and 20 minutes of dialogue explaining an impending fighting tournament called Mortal Kombat. I hear you, Italian people, but guys, where's the "it has begun"? Get me a "it has begun." We deserve it. Okay, I'm now realizing that they had one of those sand timer thingies, a sand glass and hour sand, whatever they're called. I wanted more spectacle, not just a little countdown of one of these things. Let's jump over to the acting and character by comparing present versions to their 90s counterparts. Let's jump over to acting and character by comparing present versions to their 90s counterparts. Starting with Liu Kang, maybe the most OP version that we're actually going to get. Don't get me wrong, the original from the 1995 version films were fun. Him in that one and in Annihilation. He was one of the only sane characters in Annihilation, along with Katana. And in the last Mortal Kombat from 2021, with the same actor on the right, he was a bit boring. But this one, more on that later. Sonya Blade, still badass and gets to show off her power. Less of a curmudgeon than Bridget Wilson's version in 95. And fun fact, Cameron Diaz was originally set to be Sonya Blade in that film, but broke her wrist during training, leaving production to call in Bridget Wilson after she was done with Billy Madison. Oh, Veronica Vaughn. Such a nice hiney. Ooh, I can't remember the scene. Jax has more to do in these versions than in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Annihilation just had Jax try and help Sonya Blade with zero explanation from her, by the way. He was a real righteous dude in that one, because I probably would have left her ass to die if she couldn't give me any idea of what the fuck was going on. Kano, kind of the same old Kano, but funnier. Test audiences love Josh Lawson's charismatic improv assholeness so much from the first film that they added more scenes of him and even brought him back in this one, which my theater truly enjoyed. It's not much of a stretch to bring characters back from the dead in this franchise, so good for Lawson for them having the decision to bring him back at all. Raiden, who used to be my favorite character. I'd say if you ask me now, it's Scorpion, not just because of films, but in general. I love Scorpion, but Raiden used to be my favorite character. But this new casting of Raiden, boring as hell. Christopher Lambert, I think that's his name, the Highlander, was the best. Even though he was a bit funnier in the film than he was in the game, at least he wasn't so wooden like we have in the newer version. No offense to the new actor, but at least the old Raiden had some spark. You see what I did there? But he could have been worse. I love you, James Remar. If I'm pronouncing your name right, I hope I am. And if I'm not, I'm sorry. But my God, was this movie bad. Sub-Zero. Is he back? I won't say. Is Scorpion back? If he is back, I'd like to say that at least hint at what he looked like in the first version. That was badass as hell. They do with his skull in some parts of 2021's version of Mortal Kombat, but not the mask, which I find insulting. But at least he ain't looking like the Annihilation one. What a step down. Indeed. Shang Tsung. The OG was better. No shade on these new actors, but give them that 90s spunk. You don't have to give it all to Johnny Cage. Katana is certainly more three-dimensional than Talisa Soto's, sorry for mispronouncing your name, in 95. I dug Soto's version, though, and Adeline Randolph, hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, did great acting, especially at a point of the film where she looks super defeated, but still gets up to seek her revenge one last time. What a badass. Overall, the strongest point of acting and character came from Katana, Johnny Cage, and Liu Kang. Katana's arc is one that we've seen before, but acted out well from Randolph. She puts in the work fighting-wise, beaten up-wise, and badassery-wise in the end. She could have used one other fight scene, though. She only had one with a scared Johnny Cage and one with the big bad at the end. I won't say who. But don't worry, she does some cool shit against Cage, but I'd like to see her up to the challenge to at least one other person. Then again, she does take the bad, big bad, very big, good. Anyways, Johnny Cage's journey was overall fun, and for me, quite inspiring, where you realize that the true power you have is believing in yourself. It was quite the fuck yes moment in the climax. Liu Kang was just OP as fuck. Definitely the best version of what we've had Kang in the past. It's definitely the best. Liu Kang was just OP as fuck. Definitely the best version of what we've had in the past. And his fight with Zombie Kung Lao was definitely the best scene in the entire film. Quite badass. Probably the best fighting scene of all the Mortal Kombat cinematic franchise universes. Lots of people in the theater started to sit up during that fight. The best part of direction and production was this fight, and it was making you feel like you were watching duels from the video game on the big screen for all their fight scenes. Each duel had a setting like a fighting stage in the game world. There were even several times where the wide two shots looked like the side perspective of the Mortal Kombat franchise or any fighting game you'd normally play. There's even a scene where a fighter is about to lose, and there's an opportunity for a fatality, and the character sways back and forth, and you hear, "Finish him!" And took too long, and then he finally falls back like one would in the game if you don't press the proper button combination for a proper fatality move. Overall, the best part of the film are the fighting scenes, and that's what we're all seeing the film for, right? You get the feels from the two brothers fighting, and Johnny Cage finding himself in the corny, sort of childlike comedy scenes like you get with Baraka. I'm just as surprised as you are that you get those. They make for a fun watch, but the true entertainment comes from the fights giving Mortal Kombat 2 a large popcorn. It does. The only reason I didn't give it butter is because I'm having technical difficulties. Damn it. So we're going to start a little bit back. All right. Overall, the truly best part of the film are... Overall, the truly best part of the films... Overall, the truly best parts of the film are the fight scenes, and that's what we're all seeing the film for, right? To get the feels for the two brothers fighting and Johnny Cage finding himself in the corny sort of childlike comedy scenes that you get from this one, which make for a fun watch, but the true entertainment comes from the fights, giving Mortal Kombat 2 a large popcorn. Butter is only missing for, yes, lack of a better story, but the vacant excitement and build up for the grand event of Mortal Kombat I wanted so bad. Yet, I realized we're seeing the film for the fights, and that shit was A1. You can see this film in theaters right now. And you can see all the other Mortal Kombat crap on HBO Max beforehand. Be sure to stay tuned because we'll be back by discussing more video game adaptations. But first, a message from Satan.
Yes, Mr. Death, please have a seat.
Thank you.
Would you like anything to drink?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, Candace, nothing to drink for him. No thanks, I'll just stick with this. Thank you, Candace. Shut the door, please. Thank you. Got a body on her, doesn't she? It's okay, we can talk like that here.
Right. I thought we were having this meeting with
With Big Man. Well, apparently he's got a bunch of other stuff to do, and technically he's all-seeing and all-knowing, so he's basically here.
Right.
So I assume you know why you're here today, Dr. Death. Oh wait, that's Mr. Kevorkian. Mr. Death. Still sounds weird. Just a little bit. Can I call you by your first name? Todd, is it?
Well, that's not my name.
I mean, according to your file here, you are Todd Death.
I haven't gone by that name in a while. I prefer the Grim Reaper or the Shadow or Joe Black.
Okay, Todd. Okay. So you know why we're here, right?
Yes.
Great. Then let's get this performance review started.
Performance review?
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were going to go over approving my vacation time for Memorial Day weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty ballsy.
How so?
Well, let's look at a few projects that had gone awry, shall we?
Awry, but successful.
Successful? I don't know. In the year 2000, you were supposed to take the lives of an entire plane full of human souls, but we're short 7.
I mean, I eventually got them.
But it took over a year to do so, and in that span of a year, you also failed to complete the quota of an expressway accident and missing a repeated 7 souls. What's up with that?
It's not like I wasn't paying attention.
And you never were able to catch 2 of them.
They cheated my design.
Ugh, here we go with the death design bullshit
Hey,
again.
hey, respect the design.
Sir,
Please.
I mean, it is flawless, my design, that is.
And besides those 2 incidents...
2006, Vancouver, Canada.
Fucking Canada.
You were 8 souls short from the Devil's Flight roller coaster crash.
So 1 higher than 7.
It was certainly not my finest hour.
I don't even want to go over the racetrack incident in 08.
That shit sucked.
Oh shit, we glossed over the people surviving the bridge collapse before the plane crash. Now I'm hearing we have some sort of unfinished business with a building collapse from the Skyview building in 1968.
Okay, so I've definitely brought in some errors.
Errors.
I've definitely brought in more results than errors.
Well, we're a little strict around here, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to deny your vacation.
Come on, Mr. Satan.
Please. Call me Lou.
Lou, I haven't had a vacation in literally forever.
That's not true. Don't lie now, Todd. That is not true. I've seen you've been to Israel and Palestine quite a few times recently.
That was work!
Todd! I'm afraid my hands are tied.
Why don't we circle back to this next quarter, huh?
Yeah, right.
Sure.
I just can't give Death a break right now, all willy-nilly.
Right. Sure.
It might fuck some shit up for the planet.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Todd.
Here, take these home with you.
Consider it a thank you for killing the whole Spider-Man Extended Universe thing. I really appreciate that.
I'd love to say you're welcome, but I'm not responsible for the deaths of film franchises, just human souls.
Well, you would have been responsible for me killing myself had I had to endure one more of those films. So, good looks. The door? Thanks for the skills. Boom. Welcome back. The best video game adaptations must not only entertain, but also show some respect to the original works. Now, you might find my list a bit disrespectful because I admit that some of these are entertaining, even though they're considered a little bad and don't follow the original games very well. But it is my list, damn it! This is what I thought was the most entertaining. Starting with the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Not that one. That's correct. The Super Mario Brothers movie about two Italian up-and-coming brother plumbers who must save the princess from an evil Bowser or lose the world and their toilets. It's the highest-grossing film based on a video game ever made. Nintendo really gave it their all for these films, entertaining the kiddos for their basic big-screen animated enjoyment, while simultaneously planting Easter eggs, lore, and nostalgia for the Mario fans. You can check out the first one on Peacock and the Super Mario Galaxy film in theaters now. Back to the God of Thunder, or is it lightning? Recruits a group of warriors and chosen by gods to fight in the tournament against another realm in order to save our realm, Earth Realm, from being ruled by Outworld Realm. Does that make sense? Realm. Granted, watching this one today may not give you the same, "Aw, how awesome," that we had when we watched it as kids, but Mortal Kombat 95 version still holds up as one of the OGest video game adaptations ever. If you don't agree, fine, but if you tell me that the theme song was nothing short of magnificent, I'll call you a fucking liar. You can check this one out on HBO Max. Detective Pikachu, the most famous not-animal and not cockfighting little critter Pokemon, investigates the murder of someone with the help of two young adult humans. I don't remember the movie that well. But not only was this hilarious and much more interesting than I had originally imagined before watching, but for Easter eggs, you gotta catch them all, and there were quite a bit to catch. Ryan Reynolds' casting as Pikachu was sort of genius because it's misplaced, but his quick quips as an adorable little Pokemon somehow worked. I thought it was a bad idea at first and knew nothing of the original Detective Pikachu spinoff that this film is based off of, but I was entertained nonetheless. This did decent numbers in the box office, but I don't think they've discussed a sequel in a long time. We'll have to wait and see. You can rent this one right now. A Resident Evil. A zombie outbreak in Raccoon City sets Mila Jovovich, sorry for mispronouncing your name, on an action adventure to find a cure and save humanity or something like that. I don't really remember where the movies went, but they went everywhere. I do love several of these games, but if you're trying to watch a film series dedicated to being true to the original franchise, then these films are not for you. No. They're not for you. They kind of just take all the characters and situations from the games, cram it all up in a paint can, shake it, mix it, shake it some more before splashing it against a wall made of cocaine. The first film is very calm compared to the rest of the adrenaline-fueled zombie action sequels, but I enjoyed that one the most. For me, it was a great 2000s self-contained story, serving as sort of a prequel to the games before they actually start to be more like the video games in Apocalypse. Nemesis, you all so-and-so. But they really take their liberties for all the films. For me, that was okay, though, because they are fun and bad, but still thoroughly entertaining. But still bad. But good bad. Point is, I can't recommend these films for being good, but I can recommend them for a fun time for you to shut off your brain and have fun killing zombies. Most of these you'll have to rent, but you can check the first one out on Fandango at home for free. That is an app. I had never used it before, but apparently you can. Oh, by the way, Raccoon City was okay and was closer to the games, I think. And you can watch that for yourself on Hulu. I could not finish the TV show, and neither could Netflix, which is why it was canceled. And there's a new film coming out later this year from Zach Krieger, sorry for mispronouncing your name, director of Barbarian and Weapons. I'm a little nervous about this one because he admits it won't be close to the games either, but I like the trailer, so maybe we'll like the film. Sonic the Hedgehog, an alien. That's not Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog,
An alien hedgehog with lightning speed rolling will help two humans in saving the world against the evil, goofy Dr. Robotnik with the help of Tails and Knuckles. I remember being truly satisfied with the fun, innocent whippersnapper of the hedgehog in the first film, as well as how the third act really included the gameplay, which we're familiar with, and how Knuckles and Tails completed the crew in the sequel. Sad to say I haven't watched the third one yet, especially since I've heard nothing but great things, but you can roll on over to the Knuckles miniseries, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3, all on Paramount Plus. Now we can go to this one. Castlevania. It's about vampire stuff. I don't remember the show that well, but I remember it being truly epic enough for me to mention. They even made a spinoff series, which you can watch both of them on Netflix. But the one that you should really watch the most, I think the closest adaptation-wise, The Last of Us. An apocalyptic fungus zombie TV show protecting the only human in humanity. As a huge fan of the games, this show was one of the closest adaptations to the original works I had ever seen. And I have reviewed the shit out of this show, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel for more in-depth reviews. But people complain specifically about season 2, but it is super close to the games, guys. I recommend playing the games first, then checking out the series on HBO Max. And if you still don't agree, then I'd like to know why. But I will tell you that there are honorable mentions that I did not include, mostly because I either didn't see them or I haven't seen them in a long time, were Hitman, Agent 47, and the original Hitman, both that you can watch on renting right now. Arcane, I couldn't finish, but I hear amazing things about it. But I just can't get through it. It's not for me, but maybe it's for you on Netflix. Twisted Metal on Peacock. Just too much. I loved Twisted Metal Black the most. And Twisted Metal Black was dark. This one ain't that dark. It's mostly just goofy fun. But I hear it's really good. And it's had 2 seasons, so it must be okay. Halo on Paramount Plus was canceled. And I think you can watch it on Netflix too, but should you, after finding out it's canceled? That's up to you. The original Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme, I have not seen, but I want to see the new one coming out in theaters later this year because it looks fucking baller. Like, it looks better than this Mortal Kombat that just came out, to be honest. It makes me wish I knew the games better, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. You can watch the Jean-Claude Van Damme version by renting it, and this one in theaters later on this year. Secret Level on Amazon Prime Video, a really good anthology TV show that not only references video games, but also other games like Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of cool. There's also the Tomb Raiders. 1 you can watch on Pluto and Paramount Plus, 2 on Paramount Plus, which are really, really fun. And fun for us to look at Angelina Jolie, of course. But the Alicia Vikander one was actually pretty close to the newer version of Tomb Raider video games. They actually did a really good job replicating a lot of scenes. This one's available to rent. And the Sophie Turner television series is filming right now. And it's either going to be released later on this year or next year. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's created by and co-show run by Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag. So hopefully it's good. This one's controversial, but I do not like Fallout. I watched the first season, and I'm trying to get through season 2, but it is so boring to me. I never played the video game, but I've heard from Fallout enthusiasts that it's very close, which is awesome, but it's so boring. So no, I won't watch it on Amazon Prime Video anymore, but maybe you can. And then you probably are. Gangs of London, which the first few episodes are directed by one person, and the action sequences are directed by Gareth Evans, who did the Raid movies. So the action scenes are fantastic in this. I haven't finished it, but I didn't know it was based off of a Getaway game. Remember the Getaway? Well, they had several games, and one of them was Gangs of London, which is what this is based off of, which I find pretty cool. It's probably not close to the game at all, because the game's, I think, is from the 90s, but pretty cool they made it nonetheless. And finally, The Witcher. Never played the video games, and I watched a couple episodes, but it wasn't for me. I hear it was good until they replaced Henry Cavill. But there you have it. By the way, this guy's getting replaced all the time. There you have it. What are some of your video game films?